The mics are blood clot open. Check.
Select accent for the podcast.
Calvin always late. Welcome to an extra special edition of the Mics Are Open podcast. Let me tell you, I'm excited today because we're joined by a guest. That's one of the things that excites me. But we are in a building right now where if you don't have the proper security clearance, you can't come through. This is probably the most secure place we've ever done a podcast from.
Fam, let me tell you this. First and foremost, the first time a podcast has been recorded at Safaricom House.
Yes.
Yep.
That's round of applause for that.
For that.
Yeah, we clap for that.
Yep.
Yes. And
where's the CEO's office?
See, this is the CEO's office. His office is just there.
There we go.
There you go. My name is G Money.
Andy Young.
And Big C.
And our guest today is
Kendi, Caroline Kendi.
Caroline Kendi from Safaricom, who's the brand and marketing manager or something like that, right?
You got it, man.
We practiced, didn't we?
Man. Dude.
You know what I've noticed? As soon as the camera went on, she's in her element. We practiced. Yes, we did. How you doing?
I'm awesome.
So tell me your real title then.
I lead the brand and marketing communication.
Brand and marketing communication. So on your average day, what does that mean?
I create ads. I create all the communication that you see.
Okay.
Me and my team. So anything you see with regards to what the brand is saying out there,
right,
in the form of an advertisement, digital, on TV. That's me and the guys. Yeah.
So you a big deal. Oh my God.
She's where the money's at. So.
It's the fun part of the job.
It's the
fun part of the the business, because we just it's creative. It's fun. It's very interactive, and we work a lot with other people.
Right.
Obviously, we work with agencies and you guys and media.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
It's really fun as well.
Right. But that must be very interesting because I mean you have a diverse team and you work with a lot of people, but being that person who's creating all of this different kind of communication to all the Kenyans who have a Safaricom line. Hey, that's amazing though.
Isn't that like everybody?
Yeah. I wish I could say it was just me, but I'm just the point of contact. Yeah. But it's actually a very collaborative process. We get everybody in the business because obviously, people who are working on different products, they're driving that. So it's very collaborative. Yeah. And basically we just bring out the connection with people and with Kenyans.
So you're the reason that everyone knows that Safaricom's 20. You've been shouting from the rooftops.
Yes.
Safaricom at 20.
It's such a big deal right now. Like
everywhere.
Why 20? I remember when I was turning 20. I remember exactly what was happening that year.
Oh, aren't you 20? You look like you're 20.
You are perfect for this. You're perfect. You're perfect for this podcast.
Okay, game on. Game on. But on the real, when I was turning 20, that's when I took a deep dive into who I am today. Like DJing, basketball, radio, I completely immersed myself, into my character. And 20 is a big deal to me. So I found it such a big coincidence that 20 is also, why 20? Why not 18? Why not 19? Why 20?
Because it's been 20 years, Andy.
I get. What's so special about the 20th year? No, I get it.
Okay, I understand your question.
You're trying to mock our audience, bro. I see you.
No, I think, if you think about it, how many, not even Kenyan businesses, how many African businesses can you say can celebrate being 20? And being successful for 20 years. So I think there's something really powerful about what Safaricom as a brand, but even as a business represents in the continent. Yeah, because most of the companies, I mean, when you look around, and maybe this is why, for me, why it's so important to be, I'm honored to be part of the process and the business. Yeah. 20 for a business that is this successful in this continent at this time. It's actually, very rare. Most companies that have been there are multinationals. They were started,
right.
I started my career at Unilever, and we do, we have brands like Lifebuoy, which have been there since the first World War.
Right.
And you're like, wow, how are they able to be sustainable for 100 years? So it's just great to have our little success story of people to say, actually, we're turning 20 and we're actually we're going to do 100 and 200, and it's a homegrown for Kenyans by Kenyans kind of brand.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So
I agree.
let me ask you this. I mean, the year 2020 has been different literally for so many businesses, right? I mean, with COVID-19 and everything. Was there a point where you guys were like, are we really going to go through with the celebrations of Safaricom at 20 despite everything that's been happening?
Yeah, so I think, when we're thinking about what we need to do for our 20th, one of the key things you need to understand is we are here. We are in Kenya.
Yeah.
We're part of the Kenyan populace. So we understood that you cannot celebrate in a way that is what we call tone deaf, right?
Yes.
You can't be like throwing a party and, whatever. So definitely the thinking was very much around how can we still, and that's why what the whole idea is about. It's about how can we get Kenyans to actually see beyond the difficulties and the negativity that COVID has brought, because that's what we've been as a brand since we started.
Right.
It's about inspiring hope. It's about inspiring optimism, because that's actually who Kenyans are.
Right.
Yeah. When you look around, people are always hoping it's, even when
Hustling, getting on.
with
Yeah.
politics, people are always like, it's going to be better. Yeah. So it's actually getting people to remember that and not to get too bogged down with COVID and all the half empty part of what COVID has brought.
Because that's one of the things that I liked about the communication for Safaricom 20 is that it wasn't just dwelling in, we've done this over the last 20 years, even though you have to congratulate the past.
The accolades, man,
And then, of course, it's cognizant because Safaricom as a company, many of us wouldn't have been able to work from home if it wasn't for Safaricom. So we don't even need to go into what Safaricom's doing now.
Yeah.
But what I liked about the communication was that also I felt like I was being asked, what do you expect from Safaricom in the future? Like it was a complete conversation. It wasn't just, yeah, we're over here, we're good, we did this, we're great. It was like, we've been there, we're here now, and we're going to be here for you guys in the future as well. I think that was a great communication.
Yeah, and I think that was the idea. What this brand is and what it stands for is it's literally Safaricom is Safaricom because of Kenyans. If you look at for the last 20 years, from when we were calling, and then now we're moving into data and moving to that space. At the end of the day, the success of this company and this brand is because we don't even get any revenues or anything from outside the country. It's really small. Yeah. So it's actually our brand.
Yes.
And it's actually we are the ones who build. So I think the whole idea, even when we celebrate the past, it's not really celebrating Safaricom, but it's actually celebrating Kenyans.
Right.
Yeah. Part of the most exciting things for me when we're doing before we launched is we had engagements with our M-Pesa agents.
Right.
And with dealers. And I mean, their stories of transformation are amazing.
I was about to ask you that because I was going to say that you must hear some crazy stories coming from like the absolute grassroots of people who deal with Safaricom.
Yeah, imagine, when you think about the future, the present, and the past, how many people M-Pesa has employed?
Exactly. Directly and indirectly.
Exactly.
I think I might say that M-Pesa is my favorite feature. Or especially incoming.
When back in high school, back then there was no M-Pesa, right? If my mother needed to ever send me money, she used to put it in like
an envelope,
a courier service. Courier service.
So today,
and you just hope that it gets there.
On the show today, I was even asking guys, how did guys send money before M-Pesa? Because I don't even know. Like,
I used to get an envelope, bro.
An envelope?
Yeah, with money.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
If like we were talking about before we started recording, we were talking about how you used to drive like a truck back in the day. We'll get to that story. If you had to send money to like Shags, right? You'd have to trust a driver.
Yeah.
He's going to Ahero out in Nyanza.
Right.
Like, listen, be there. You tell someone be there at this particular day. You've probably written a letter telling them to expect money on the 15th.
Wow.
We'll come with such and such a driver, so probably be at the stage. Now it's instant.
I know. And the other day, also, the thing that in one of the stories we had, the conversations we had with customers, we're talking about phone booths.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I remember, like, in campus, you'd go,
right,
you'd line up,
man,
for a long time, and then there was guys there who were experts at
reverse call.
I say this?
Right.
No, we
the mics are open, man.
But can you imagine? Like, that's how people used to call. If you wanted to call anyone, you'd have to go and line up and get coins, and then sometimes the coins would. And I was like, my God, right now, the 20-year-olds, do you even know what a phone booth looks
Come
like?
on. I'm actually older than I look, though. I'm older than I look.
It's crazy. We could literally stay here and talk about all the crazy, the good things that Safaricom has done. But I feel like, but it's actually true that you guys have touched people in different places. Like for me, one of the things I think about is the education sector. Safaricom has literally been at the forefront of this, right? When I think about the Safaricom Foundation, what you guys have done, the institution you guys have built in Fika, massive, going in to support different projects. Kids are going through like Science Congress and what innovation,
Even sports,
supporting
bro.
the mics are open.
Exactly. All of that. It's one of those things where it's not going to stop at the end of 20 or celebration of 20, but it's something that everybody can always look forward to. Because when you were mentioning other brands, I don't think there's a brand in Kenya that's been as loud when it comes to supporting people of different walks of life as Safaricom has.
Yeah, and I think because to whom much is given, much is
expected.
Yeah.
And that has been at the core of what this brand has been since the inception. I remember the initial days when we were talking with Michael Joseph at some point, and he said those days the marketing, the biggest marketing budget went into the foundation, to the community.
Wow.
When we started, because that's what he said, and that was the philosophy, and that is the philosophy that we carry till today. That actually the impact on the community is the most important and critical marketing spend you'll ever make.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, when you impact a life, a community, a school, a hospital, those are the guys who will be your brand ambassadors forever.
True.
You don't need to spend 100 ads. I don't need to spend the money that I spend on ads, because this person will be like, this brand actually came and created this value for me. Therefore, I understand why I need to spend whatever money. That's why I need to. But then also, you're also creating, innovating and creating products and services. I think the other interesting thing about what Safaricom is as a brand and why I believe is successful is because it's also about anticipating needs that people don't even know they need.
Right. What's
That's
next?
a beautiful way to put it.
That's true. The what next?
Because ultimately, this whole space, if 10 years ago, we didn't know we needed to work from home.
True.
Right. So it's the innovation and the power behind the creativity is about actually thinking about the future in that way. What are the needs that people don't even know they need, but then when it happens, you're like, whoa, yes, this is it. Yeah, we never knew we needed to send money on M-Pesa.
True.
Yeah, but right now it's like you can't imagine life without it.
Yeah, I mean, for us guys, because like I always tell the story of like when I first came to Kenya, how I used to go to this kiosk on Baricha Road, like at 8 o'clock at night, to go and buy scratch cards to load my airtime to call my grandma back in Jamaica, right? And those days I go like, why? Can I have 5,000 shillings worth of? And I'd get it, I'd load it onto my phone, and I go home and speak to my grandma for like half an hour. Now you put 5K on your phone, man. You're talking for like 10 days. Do you know what I mean? So like those are the small things that I remember, like even coming from living in London and coming back here, and then it's like those dongle things. Oh my God. Like
Game
data
changer.
was so slow.
Game changer,
And what I like about like Safaricom and going forward, we've got 5G coming and all this stuff, right? Is that, like you said, you've anticipated the change that we need, innovated continually. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like when I remember when we used to do this read for cloud services. There was a time we were doing a Safaricom read for cloud services. He and I had no idea what this was. It's like
cloud computing.
You remember that? It was like, we used to just read it. So you can get cloud computing services from Safaricom, and then you can do your corporation, this and that. And we look at each other like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
There's so many stories, because I think one of the things that a lot of people, and it's a running joke, especially like on Twitter. The other day, someone posted up and said, "What color was your Idios phone?" Yo, that was a game changer.
The craze, bro.
Yeah, when Safaricom came in with all the shops that you guys have in the country, and the Idios came in the yellow,
Black.
blue,
all of these,
that funny pink kind of thing, and that whole smartphone kind of thing going on. And at that point, we're coming from what is it?
WAP.
Edge. WAP. Right?
Oh, yeah.
We're coming from edge.
Yeah.
WAP.
Right.
WAP
I'm even impressed at how much you know. I'm like, what is that?
Oh, we've been around.
We're coming. Literally, I remember queuing up to get the ideas.
But you know
I
the
was
crazy-
on the BlackBerry.
Bro, I was on air when Ideas launched, yo. Let me tell you, in those days.
How old are you?
How old are you?
But how old are you?
Imagine when Ideas launched, right? They sent like a whole stack of them to the station.
Yeah.
So we had like different colors, like all of the presenters, we all had ideas.
Everyone, yeah.
And I remember us like being in the studio looking at this thing like, what is this thing,
Yeah.
you know? And then the way it revolutionized, because WhatsApp came after that.
Literally right after that.
Right after
Yeah.
that, so it's communication, and it's been an incredible journey. But I want to ask, like, in terms of the future, I mean, what does the future look like for Safaricom?
I think the way I would look at it is, what does the future look like for Kenya?
For Kenya,
Yeah, because
I love that.
Because then,
Yeah.
I
you
love
know,
that,
what
yeah.
we do as a brand is we just enable Kenyans to do them and to prosper and to grow. So I like the conversation about phones, because one of the big enablers of progress, and when we're doing the shoot, and you know, a lot of the, you know, because we interact with a lot of Kenyans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so amazing to see like mechanics in Grogon going
Right.
on YouTube to learn how to do stuff different.
wow.
You know, I mean, that for me was one of the most, you know, you look at something and this guy is there, he's like, no, let me show you Nikona bundle, YouTube, and then he's learning.
Boom. Yeah.
You know, this carpenter in Kawangware who's online checking out new designs and seeing how he can innovate. So when I think about what the future is, it's about really, you know, and that's what the idea of going beyond is, yeah? Twende Tukiuke. Or even we said, and why we said even let's create a new word, because when you think about the word kukiuka in the current context, it's very negative. Kukiuka sheria. It's very
It's like dodging or something.
going beyond
Okay.
is seen as something negative, because
Yeah.
we live in a world where it's all about boundaries and you must
right.
stay. So the
Right.
future is about actually going beyond the boundaries, yeah. And we want to create this word to mean kikiuka. You're actually looking ahead, and you're like, it doesn't matter whether COVID has done whatever. You know, this is the context we live in, but actually we can go beyond. I can be in Grogan and I can actually grow my mechanic
Right.
business because I have access to data, and data that works, that actually I can learn something and its value. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's, I think, you know, when I think about what going beyond, what the future looks like, it's about how can we inspire Kenyans? How can all of us actually look beyond our boundaries and actually go beyond? And then therefore, as a brand now, our job is just to support you and to be there for you.
Right.
And I think I speak for all the Kenyans. With everything that you guys are
dreadlocks.
innovating,
Not dread.
you know, with everything that you guys are innovating. But I want to talk about right now, especially with everything that's happening with COVID. I personally, the mics are open, and for all the Kenyans, I wanted to say thank you to Safaricom for all the things that you guys have done with M-Pesa. Because the fact that you guys were able to say you can send this amount,
More money, yeah.
you know, if you're a business, if you run an SME, right, you can now hold up to this much money. You know, that whole day-to-day transaction of cash
The relief was massive, bro.
stop the spread of, you know, COVID.
Yeah.
So all of these things that you guys have done, you know, someone may think about it as me as a person, I may just be like, okay, it's just sending money.
Right.
But how that
Has changed
as in
things.
that's
Yeah.
taken from your pocket,
Yeah.
and saying we're giving it to the Kenyans so that you guys are able to adapt and you know,
and the
go
removal
through-
of the
Yeah.
basic fees as well.
Exactly.
Me, I'm here for those no bank transfer fees,
Yeah,
brother.
man.
I'm here for it. Oh, but also, like, I mean, we're at Safaricom House, and I've been here quite a few times. It's like a beehive usually.
Yes.
Yo, it's empty.
When we come to the what, 7th floor,
Yeah,
almost
we're in the
packed.
No, let them know. This is CEO's reception, right? Now, even for Safaricom being affected by COVID-19, and most of your staff are working from home, do you ever see it getting back to? Because this is, I mean, if you've been to Safaricom House, you know this
Yeah.
place is busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever see it getting
24/7.
back to that point?
I think what COVID did for us, which, you know, I think is great for us as a brand and also for Kenyans,
As a
is
country.
just this digital transformation.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of things we need to rethink. Whether, you know, do you need 2,000 people sitting in a building to get work done? Yeah, I think, you know, we even have people who are doing customer care from their homes.
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
And for me, as a woman, a leader, a mom, I love working from home. Yeah, and I
Right,
think,
right,
you know, when we
right.
think about, you know, diversity in the workplace, this is one of the things that I think will make it easier for more women to thrive in corporate. Because
Right.
you don't feel like you have to keep juggling, whatever. I like the fact that I sit there, my child is over there,
Right.
he's doing homeschooling, and I just feel like I'm able to do more, and therefore you're able to be more successful.
Because the people I know who work for Safaricom, there's two things that they're grateful for. A, like you said, the chance to spend more time with their family, which is a beautiful thing. But also the fact that Safaricom didn't cut nobody's wages. Anyway, so moving solution. That's a dart out to somebody. So where's my camera? If you cut somebody's wages or my wages, you need to be putting them back.
But let me ask you this. What's, aside from the brand and you working on the brand, you as a person, what's the one thing that, when you think about the 20 years of Safaricom, that is so memorable for you? It could be that smartphone or that phone number, or you remember the tin? How the SIM card used to come in the tin?
Right.
Yeah. Or the wallets that Safaricom had a mass distribution for? Yeah. What's one of those?
I think my first phone
Yeah.
was an Alcatel.
Wow.
Big one.
Which had an aerial, and then it
What
was
is it?
red.
The
Alcatel.
T10?
I
Or
can't even
what is
remember
it?
what it was called, but it was like that was the status symbol. Like I knew I've made it.
But those
When I had that
Alcatels
phone,
would vibrate hard.
they were
Like,
solid. So, and I think for me, that, when I talk about transformation,
yeah.
that for me was because that was my first phone. I felt connected. I felt like the world. I was 20 that time, so I felt the world was my oyster. And I think that is sort of the beginning of the journey of progress. And then I think the intuitive for me, the thing that I love, and especially when I went, because I worked out of the country for a bit. And I came back on holiday with a few of my friends, from South Africa. And we were driving around, and we went and we fueled, and I paid by M-Pesa. And
They lost it.
they were like, stop.
Who's your
Stop
juju
everything.
Why are you
man?
just driving around without paying for stuff?
Yeah.
And the pride that gave me, the pride that when
No.
I'm sitting
Oh, you
out
delivered
there
a
and I'm
speech,
telling,
I'm sure.
oh my God, I was like, guys, this is normal. This is how, and especially when people come from that mindset where they think you guys are backward.
Right.
In South Africa, they say you guys are Africa. So that was my moment of just like, but they're in Africa. This is how we are. So I think there's a lot of pride, I think, for me as an individual to be part of such a world-leading innovation that is actually even changing lives and transforming lives.
I mean, that's why the what's his name? The guy from Facebook, the CEO, what's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg.
When he came, he had to come to
Safaricom.
the hub.
The biggest telco,
Yeah.
bruv. Yeah.
That-
But you know what? I like the question that you just asked because I was sitting there thinking, if I was to think about that moment for me with Safaricom, there's two moments I could think of. The first moment was when they announced the 3G modem. Oh my God. Let me tell you. You remember that long one? You plug it into your computer.
Yeah.
That for me was
Game
life changing.
Fam.
That was life changing because the thing I used to struggle with the most, fam. I'm not gonna mention the company's name, bro, but there was a company that before Safaricom got into data, fam, they were charging 13,000 for 1 MB speed.
It was expensive.
1
back in the day,
MB,
bro. 1 MB.
13,000 a month. So that dongle, that was life changing for me, bro.
Now that we're talking about stories, for me, at that point, when Safaricom came in and said, listen, we're going to sponsor the Safari 7s. Yo, that was amazing. Cause I was playing rugby then, right? So I was in that whole...
Whatever, you were carrying the water ball.
He had to throw it in there. He had to throw it in there. Loosely, casually.
So it was-
Hold on, by the way, you can't talk about rugby to Kendi, and because Kendi knows about rugby. So
right?
if you didn't see him, just throw him out there. Yeah,
You get so that was so massive. So we've spoken about the phones and everything. Even coming to sports, how many people benefited from that? Shout out to Mbati. He was playing rugby then. True. And everybody else. So that was massive. The fact that a telco sat there and were like, okay, let's pump money into...
I kind of feel though, I mean, in fairness, I kind of feel that Safaricom had this great vision for rugby. I don't know if the rugby guys had the same vision. You know what I'm trying to say?
Follow
Now
through.
story.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's
Yeah.
another story, but
Yeah.
like, because I remember sitting in Kasarani Stadium,
Yes.
Safaricom Sevens, and I'm like, yeah, this is world class rugby in a world class venue. And go, oh, me, I want to go to the Madingong Road. Me, I want to go to RFU. You get
Yeah.
me?
Yo,
so
but-
I think the vision at Safaricom, they were like, let's take it here.
Yes.
Guys at rugby were like, let's keep it here. You know?
Yo, I love the fact that you guys are bringing up these stories, but one thing we have to give these guys credit for is you made, I'll just say it because no one has mentioned it, you made flirting so easy for us, man. You made
Wow.
flirting easier for us. No, because remember back in the day, for you to holler at a babe, fam used to go to her place, then throw rocks on the roof. She'd get it, or hit the window.
Did you do
then,
that?
Then we moved.
I didn't do that.
I did it, bro.
This is not
I
like-
did
I
it.
know
No,
the gate.
this-
I know the gate.
What do you mean? Back in the day, like what? 1942.
Like,
1942 to be precise. 1952 Lancaster House, bro.
I know,
To be
like-
precise.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
And then we moved
my
to
gosh.
letters and everything.
Stones.
We did all that, bro. But the joy of getting your parents' phone, sending a text message to a babe, and then deleting it and letting her know you cannot respond right now.
Okay.
That was
it was
massive,
nice
yeah.
seeing you today, fam. Me, I'm grateful for that.
But
man.
for those
I'll
of
say
us
on
who have
behalf of
always
the
paid
man,
our
man.
phone bills,
See, that was such a big deal in the 254, bro.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you.
So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. And speaking on the same, we've seen talking about communication and marketing. We've seen how you guys have been putting content out there. We're keen to watch how interactive is it, yeah? From the ads, meetings, you guys doing conferences and all that, to a point where you will go to somebody's hood, somebody who is known in the hood to be doing great content. Like, it's unique content. Only you are, you're a pro at that. And deciding, you know what? We can actually incorporate this person and their style into
Into what
pushing
we
out
do.
our product. Why? Because they identify with the people and the people identify with
That's
them.
something Safaricom's always been good at, though.
Yes.
Yeah, because I
I
think
have to give you guys,
that's what I'm saying. You
props
see,
for that.
Once you get the fact that Safaricom is not about it's about
It's about the people.
Kenyans.
Yeah.
So even rugby. I mean, more recently we've gotten into football. Yeah, with Chapadimba.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Because it's about as a brand we identify what people are passionate about. Yeah, and there's two main things people are passionate about. Generally, young people, sports and music.
Facts.
Within those two areas, it's now about what can we do, right, to really encourage and inspire. So it's always about inspiring, people to do better, to be better, and to have hope in the future. The stuff that we did with Blaze,
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Blaze,
Right, yeah.
man.
yeah, it's exactly what we continue to now. We're moving Blaze digital, but it's basically seeing how we can get people to young people especially to actually grow and prosper and to do better and transform their lives with their passions. Yeah,
Right.
So, I mean, Chapadimba was amazing when we took these kids last year to La Liga. And I mean, like, they were sitting watching a game and Messi was playing, and I
Wow.
could see those kids, and they're like, man,
Losing it,
Wow.
yeah.
you can't undo exposure.
Right, you can't.
That kid, there's this kid who was sitting next to, and he just told me, I have a visual of where I want to go.
Wow.
You can't take that moment away from
Can't
him.
take it away.
Yeah.
And the power of that, I mean, you can't quantify it. It's just like, that's really the transformative power of what Safaricom is.
Yeah, and I love that you've mentioned Blaze. You guys fill in a very, very big gap because I'd say as millennials and as young guys, I can't specify the age per se, but there's been a very big gap when it comes to mentors in the game. And I love the fact that you guys threw in artists, you threw in creatives, guys from the corporate world, and you showed people, hey, it's not what you've been thinking. Let's show you one. Us, we've gone through the process. We didn't go through it the right way. We didn't have people holding our hands and taking us through the steps, show you the ropes and everything. But you guys saw that gap, and I don't know if it was intentional, but that's what I saw. Seeing Kina Kinkaka up there, seeing you guys getting comedians to go talk to people and all that. Because if you ask kids nowadays or from a certain age group what they wanted to be, they'd have told you, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. Others tell you, I want to entertain.
Right.
I want to do music. And you see parents are becoming more accepting of that. The society is becoming, more accepting to all that. So I have to give you props again, Maze. You guys feeling that gap properly.
Relax.
Do you want to kneel down?
But you want to like
It can't be downplayed.
Love fest.
It can't
The
be
mics are
downplayed,
open.
bro.
Love fest.
But again, I keep saying it's because you see, again, the power of Blaze was not Safaricom. Safaricom again was an enabler.
Right.
The power of Blaze, and I remember just when you see someone like King Kaka on stage, right, and then you see him talking to people. When we were talking about this earlier, it's about also just the importance of the hustle. Yeah, when you hear those mentors talking, they were not just speaking to say, "Oh, you just wake up one day and you're a celebrity."
Right.
No. You know, it's a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of, and that's the thing. So it's creating a platform where people can actually talk to each other and learn from each other.
Right.
And then now you take it up. Yeah. Because again, it's about Kenya. It's about young people. You being able to say, wow, I want to be a, even there was a guy who I really liked, who was a farmer, the guy who won the first Blaze. BYOB, and actually making farming cool.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? Because also we think of farming is for guys of shags, it's for old people, blah, blah, blah. But actually seeing how agribusiness is actually an opportunity for you to improve yourself and that's what you have access to. So really encouraging people to support each other and to now go beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's not about the brand is an enabler, but actually it's about me waking up every day to think, how can I do better?
Kukiuka.
How can I be better? How can I kiuka?
Yeah, I get you.
Kiuke.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how long have you had your Safaricom line?
I have had it for maybe 18 years.
So it's over 18.
It's because I'm like 0722.
So
Really?
okay.
And you?
Since 13 years.
So I've had mine since October the 20-something 2007. Actually,
So it's 13.
DJ John gave me my first Safaricom line.
I was
Because in
class
those
eight,
days,
bro.
your SIM card wasn't registered, so you just there's a SIM card.
yeah.
But then I had to go back and get it registered and all of this stuff. So
Yeah.
I've had my number for 13, which is the longest I've ever had a number in my entire life. Trust me.
I've stayed with mine for like close to 8-9 years or so. Yeah, not so long back.
Before
from when
you were
you-
throwing stones.
Yeah.
or using my dad's line. My dad has been using his Safaricom line since day one. Since I was maybe around class 1, class 2. Since then he's using the same line. So that's a very long time. I love that longevity game.
I want to talk about something you touched on, and also you touched on Kendi. I want to talk about like the creatives of the future, because I think that because Safaricom was always interfaced with guys who can communicate to the audience in this new space of digitalization, where everything, like even for us guys, our podcast is I mean, the numbers on the podcast are ridiculous.
It's the biggest.
It's like how well, it's just the facts, isn't it?
Facts, innit?
Like so, but like how do people interface with Safaricom? Like for sake, like I'm using us as an example. How do we step into that Safaricom world and say, okay, our guys stream 1 million whatever per month, right? And we want to come to Safaricom and say, okay, Safaricom, this is the data of what we're working with. Now, how can you help us go beyond where we are?
We want to kiuka even us.
Yeah, so I think that's a really cool question, because I find that the biggest risk we have as a people is that thing of expecting somebody else to do it for us.
Right, right.
So the role I see, and I think for creatives, the beauty of what this digital world provides is it's the world is your oyster.
Right.
All of a sudden your audience is not just here.
Right, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So what I believe the role is about, once you're clear, what value proposition do you have?
Right.
Yeah, for the world. Then it will be natural that Safaricom, but not only Safaricom, but anyone
Everybody,
else is going to plug into it. So for me, the advice I give to anyone who's an entrepreneur, who's trying to do something, is get the right value proposition that with the world as your oyster.
Right.
Think about it like that. And once you're clear on that, once you have the numbers,
right,
then it's very easy now for anybody. And that's something. Then you stop speaking about Safaricom, come and help us.
Yeah.
But more about actually Safaricom, this is the value I can add to you. And then when you have that, then that value you can add to now.
I'm coming to you with numbers.
and that is the kind of conversation. But that's the beauty. And then you see that then now for me it's about now how are you paying it forward?
Right.
And what are you doing to the ones
Love it.
coming?
Love it.
Yeah, because again, I think a lot of us spend a lot of time saying, what I need. But then there's also stuff that you can give and paid for
Right.
and help. And I think in the creative industry, there's a lot of that, which I think is needed. Of, we, the older people, how you mentoring the younger generation? How you building the capacity? How you getting other people
How are we going to
think?
stop Andy from throwing stones?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Help a brother out.
I don't like that throwing
Let's
stone
start-
story.
let's start a
What is
campaign,
from-
man. Let's do
No, he's that
something.
guy for God.
Let's stop Andy from throwing stones.
Yeah,
No, but I get it.
It was in Meru, by
do
the
you know
way,
what?
just
I love that. I love the fact that you said about paying it forward because that's something that I think even in this space, it's important as creatives for us to, if the doors are open for us, or even if we open the doors for ourselves, to help people to move beyond as well. So
I
that's
like
a very good. I love that. I
like
love that.
Yeah.
And you've given me something to think about as well.
Yeah,
That's
because I think
dope.
It's again, this is a platform that you have. So to whom much is given,
Much is
right? So much is
expected. Yeah.
expected.
Right.
As always.
So as much as you expect, first I think you have to get your value proposition right,
Right,
and have something to offer. Then once you do that, now what are you doing with that? What are
Right.
you doing with that platform, and how are you doing that to now create a bigger space for other
Right.
people?
I love
Just
it.
give me so much to think about. That is
love it. What
that is
more can you say
amazing,
after
man.
that,
That
bro?
is
There you go.
that's the missing key right there. Listen, we could talk forever, man. Safaricom, 20 years deep in the game, and personally, as G Money, I mean, even from the perspective of radio, and you guys have always supported my show a lot over all of these years. So I personally want to thank you for helping me keep the lights on during these years. Long may it continue. But deeper than that, I just hope that you continue to innovate and keep paying it forward, like you say, and also, be with us Kenyans throughout the years to come. You know what I mean? That's my part in short. Calvin.
Who?
Calvin. Sorry, Big C.
It was so deep.
But yeah, for me, it's like I said, the Kenyans, you guys have been very impactful. And I think I speak for all of those kids in so many different parts of Kenya that we don't see in the news every single day. How they've, you guys have come and supported them in so many different ways, Is it via M-Pesa, via education? If you guys are giving out free sanitizer, masks, all of those. I mean, Safaricom is for Kenya. So you guys keep doing that. And we're all on Safaricom, basically.
Pretty much.
Tukiuke,
Twende,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so definitely. For all the Kenyans, thank you.
And Andy?
Yo, I'm just glad that you guys you're about Kenyans, and it can't get better than that. I love that whole approach of what is it that the people need, not what can we give to the people. No, what do they need? You're looking at the future that hasn't come yet, and that's very unpredictable. And you're ready to launch yourselves in that space, come rain, come shine. And that's definitely something that it's basically a foundation. Like, I need to know whatever happens, like we didn't see 2020 coming, I can lean back on someone and they'll still be strong for me. And that's my biggest takeaway, bro. That's my biggest takeaway.
Poetry.
It's deep. Kendi.
Man speeding.
To everybody, to the thousands of people who will watch this podcast, what would be your message from Safaricom to each and every one of them?
So I think for me, it's a bit personal in the sense that this is my my perspective to life, which is always the cup or the glass is either half empty or half full. And it's all about your mindset. It's all about how you look at it and what you do with that energy. So I think that's what Safaricom stands for as a brand. I'm thinking when 20 years ago Michael Joseph came to set up this company here, there was 100 other people who were like, Kenya, why? To do what?
Right.
Half empty. You can see the beauty is when you see something from the half full perspective, when you see it from the opportunity, when you see it from what you could be and what it could be. That's for me what Twende Tukiuke is about, and that's what going beyond is. And even as a brand and a business, we're saying, okay, we have done great in the last 20 years. We don't even know, this world is changing so fast. You don't even know what the next 20 is. But what we need to do is just have the right attitude and the right mindset, and actually challenge ourselves every day to go beyond. Yeah, and so that's for me the parting shot. Is just Twende Tukiuke.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. This has been the Mics Are Open. My name is G Money.
And the young.
Kendi.
Big C.
There you go. Peace.
Yes.
Beyonce had to say it last.
No. Ladies
Beyonce had
first,
to
bro.
say it last.